A lawsuit has been filed in North Carolina against the online gaming app Roblox. It was filed yesterday on behalf of a mom and her young daughter in High Point, North Carolina. It states that the app needs to be held accountable for criminal sexual harassment that happened to her child. Now, this isn't the only lawsuit being filed against Roblox. A family in Missouri is also filing on behalf of a teenage girl making similar allegations.
This product is unsafe in its construct. They put out a product in the marketplace knowing it's going to be used by children, marketed to children, without requiring age verification, and then also relying upon minors self-reporting their age.
Roblox reportedly introduced age verification about a month ago. Now, in a statement, the video game company said, quote, "We are deeply troubled by any incident that endangers our users, and safety is a top priority."
All right, joining us now to break this down, our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes. Khalif, sometimes it can be hard to go after companies like Roblox because of something called Section 230, the Communications Decency Act. Can you break down for our viewers what that is and how Roblox might say, hey, we're not responsible for this, and actually there may be protections in our favor?
Yeah, I mean, it limits third-party users. I mean, it's just the same for social media companies like Facebook, Meta, Instagram, X, and anything like that. A platform, a provider, it's like they're the hub. The best way I can describe it is they would be like, if you go into a salon with multiple booths, that owner's not responsible for the individual booth. It's that person that's providing the service. That's what this 230 section 47 section 230 provides protection for, specifically saying, because we host the information, we're not going to be responsible for the negative impacts or any secondary effects that happen for the third party presenter of information. Specifically, if you're on there and you post something negative, Facebook can't be held responsible for your information. And it makes sense, specifically because you wouldn't have a social media platform. You wouldn't have any type of hosting platform if the provider, the individual that's actually hosting it, I should say, is now responsible for every individual user. There's billions of users that participate in social media. That liability would be insurmountable. No insurance company would cover any of these companies as well. And so it logically makes sense, but you see a number of folks that are attempting to bring claims against these type of companies. That's one defense that I think would be out there, but there are a number of potential claims that are within this claim that they can be successful with, even if you go around that Section 230 claim.
Well, I was going to say on the flip side for this one family in High Point, North Carolina, there's another family in Missouri that are alleging that they're predators because of the game. What would they need? What kind of evidence? What do they need to have a successful win against a large company like Roblox?
It's a couple of things. Obviously, it's a David versus Goliath type of thing. And I mean, my kids play these type of games. I'm familiar with Roblox. I'm familiar with Robux, the currency that's used on there, because it seems like my children are always trying to figure out, how can I purchase some more Robux? So in this situation, you had that 6-year-old child that was playing with or participating in the game with a person she thought was 10, but it was an adult, and they were coercing her into sending explicit images in providing Robux dollars to that person. So you for sure would have to, if you're proving a negligence claim, that duty, breach, causation, and damages, you have to be able to point to the damages. In this situation, if you're saying it's intentional infliction of emotional distress, it just can't be that I feel bad or I'm upset or I'm frustrated, but now it has the physical manifestation into something. I'm having nightmares, I'm peeing in the bed, I'm having headaches, I can't sleep. I got some secondary effects connected to that. That damage has to be something that's manifested into a physical, but then also you're talking about products liability. So they're saying that not only did they not protect her, but the product, and this is how you get around that 230, was errors there were errors in the product that made it easy for predators to get access to them. And so that would be a products liability claim. This is a defective design. This is a failure to warn. Much like, if you get into a vehicle and the seatbelts don't work, you're going to sue them because the seatbelts failed. The design is defective. That's that product liability component, and that would get around any type of 230 argument that's an internet-based.
But again, going with the whole entire car argument, you could say, okay, the risk getting into a car, there's a chance you're getting in an accident. We've passed everything we need to make it safe. The seatbelts are there. They're not faulty. I mean, what type of ownership do people have to say? You're putting your child online, and what comes with that is an access to predators.
Well, the argument for the defective design is that first of all, they're giving you the assumption that this is safe, even though, as they mentioned, that the platform alleges that it facilitates predators' access by allowing them to have these anonymous interactions. So that anonymous interaction is giving the parents the false sense of security that their children are dealing with other children, but you're not, and you don't have any way to verify that.
Online games are inherently dangerous because they're online, right?
Yeah, but these type of games that are targeted towards kids in that specific generation or age bracket specifically, like a video game, you have those labels that will say, 17 or mature,
the gameplay.
8. But this type of game is specifically targeted for that lower generation age, and they're saying there's not enough done to protect those types of kids. So the argument is there. I think that it's not obviously an easy argument, but Roblox has to come out and be able to do more to protect these individuals. And you can see it. You mentioned in the opening, we've now put places age verification to ensure that that's there. Folks will find a way to skate around that as well. Maybe some type of photo identification verification is probably the next step, some picture identification, but then it opens up a number of doors with you wanting to provide that and them having that stored on their servers. Trying to find the right answer, I'm not sure it's there. But that car analogy, back to that, a number of car manufacturers were sued in the 80s and the 70s, and that's basically what all of our products liability cases are rooted in, is companies coming back and saying, no, my product is safe, and the plaintiff saying, no, you didn't do enough to protect and you didn't do enough to warn.
Khalif, I will say, I know we're out of time here, but even as parents with kids that are the age of playing these games, responsibility doesn't necessarily always fall to the parents, but accountability does. And so if I'm going to let my child play a game, I also need to be having a conversation with them saying, hey, do you ever reach out to anyone? Does anyone ever reach out to you on these games? 100%. If so, let's talk about it. I want to see it. Show me what you're doing. Most of us just let them free, roaming around on a digital playground without any kind of supervision. And I think as parents, that's where we're wrong, and we do have to step up.
I double down on that, 100%.
Right. Khalif, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.